Hey guys, I hope you're doing great today. So let's get into the first week of July. This is going to be primarily for the first week of July, though what I'm going to be talking about is going to be rolling out for the next 3 to 6 months. You know how these things go. So the way I'm going to do this lead in, and then I'm going to pull cards for each sign separately, and I'm going to have time stamps. So I'm going to have the beginning of the tarot time stamped, okay? And I'm going to be talking specifically with each sign when I start pulling cards with the houses that these transits are going to most be affecting you in. But quite honestly, guys, we have everything in us. We do. So those of you who know your chart know that, just to one degree or another. So I want to speak in general about what we're all going to be feeling, and you're going to know what area of your life it's resonating the greatest with, and then in conjunction with things to look out for your own particular placements. So of course this is going to be for Sun, Rising, Moon, Venus, and then even particular house placements. So I don't want to confuse you guys, so let's just get right into this. So we have the full moon on the 5th. Which is going to be occurring when the Sun in Cancer is going to be opposing the Moon in Capricorn. This is going to be this last set of eclipses occurring on this Cancer-Capricorn sign axis that began back in July of 2018 that we've all been talking about. So just think about what this means for a minute, right? Because the Sun warms our planet, and the Moon it creates the tides. So there's a lot of emotion here, right? The Moon is all about us looking deep inside, feeling what's inside deep. And Capricorn's like, what are you going to do about it? We need to work on this. And that's what happens here. So this can really be, that dynamic can be happening in any area of your life. But we want to understand that we're going to feel very pushed to revisit, to resolve, to, guys, sometimes, just find a solution. And a lot of times to actually get rid of things that aren't serving us anymore. Because it's an emotional time, right? And, when we're dealing with emotions, guys, what are we dealing with a lot of times? A lot of times it's romance. A lot of times it's fertilization of ideas, right? Having to do with something to do with career. It has to do with any kind of relationship, right? So really understand that anything that you feel very passionate about, any sense of deep emotion, this is really going to be moving you, especially wherever Cancer is in the chart, only because Cancer is the North Node and all in this particular dynamic, but Cancer rules the Moon. So, whatever. That's people, you're going to be feeling it in your Cancer house the most. So, again, this is the last gig in this axis set. And this is really considered a final, a major nudge towards resolving an issue that has to do particularly with your Cancer and Capricorn areas in your chart. So you want to know your chart and what that means to you. Right? So the Moon, it's like, the way I'm looking at it is, right, we have the Moon, and then we have Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, right? And again, the Moon is I feel, and Saturn is, that's so nice, Moon, that you feel like that. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to hold on to it and work on it a little more diligently, where you give greater focus? Or has it reached its expiration date? Is it time to get rid of it? What are you going to do? And that's the thing. Saturn is so about structure and form and karma and slow and restriction, but it's all really necessary. Those of you who've been watching me know I actually really like Saturn, because I know when we get through these Saturn transits, we're all the better for it, first of all. Whatever leaves wasn't meant for us anyway, and the blessings are very, very benefic on the other side. Even though Saturn is considered a malefic by everyone in my industry, I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for the old guy, because I know he means well. But Cancer is really going to encourage us to value our base, our home roots. What makes us feel safe? Well, Capricorn is really pushing us to think about our sense of duty and responsibility. So this could have to do with our career. This could have to do within relationships, within family dynamics. Wherever we really need to show up, Capricorn's going to be holding that mirror up to us, really, because, you know, Cancer represents the origin of something, right? And then Capricorn represents the resolution of it. Like, you know, how is it supposed to actually really play out in the 3D? And the thing is, you don't want to neglect any of these things. Like, even if it's uncomfortable, any of these lessons are uncomfortable, you feel like, because you feel the change and you just don't want to do it, or you don't know how to do it, you're convincing yourself that you don't know how to do it, or you don't even know how to get the ball rolling. You know, because it's one thing to say, all right, you know what, like, for example, you know I need to make a change in this relationship, this marriage, this job, whatever, but guess what? I don't have another job right now. Or guess what? I don't have the money to leave right now. But there's nothing preventing you from getting the ball rolling. It's just a matter of realizing that it may not actually go the way that you exactly want it, but it's going to go exactly the way that it needs to go. And I know sometimes that's tough to hear, but that's what this energy is going to be bringing the beginning of July. I mean, guys, it's all about balancing out these two energies, right? So I'll give you an example, right? So let's talk about Cancer and Capricorn, right? I mean, you know, like if we have this first house, seventh house dynamic between Cancer and Capricorn, you know, Capricorn being in the first, it would be like you have to get rid of something that is not serving you as far as your belief system goes about how you work your life, how you are, right? Because the first house has to do with our personality and how we engage with the world and how the world understands us. I mean, it's big, right? But then the seventh house has to do with partnerships. So maybe you need to sacrifice something in yourself for the relationship in order to bring that dynamic to where it needs to go. You know, and a lot of times it's not you actually sacrificing, it's you sacrificing actually like negative concepts that you've had about yourself, realizing that this relationship is not worthy of you. So it could really, it can work in a number of ways, and the houses work with each other. So we're going to talk about that more when we get to the cards. But something's been building inside of each of us, and now is the time when the energy really needs to let go. You will feel that what I'm saying is not a suggestion, guys, if you're resonating. And you may not even be feeling it just yet. It's really not a suggestion. You're going to be feeling it. You're going to be pushed. And if you resist it, it's not going to work well for you. If you go with it, it's going to be beautiful. By the way, this is not doomy or gloomy. There's a lot of things you're going to feel very motivated, especially with Mars's help in there. You know, that's kicking up this month. Very motivated and very focused on doing the right thing for yourself and moving your life forward. So I really think this is a good time for this to be happening. But over the coming weeks, and by the way, I just feel like this is the necessary last push over the fence into what's supposed to be this next path in your life, where you're supposed to be going next. You know, we can't sit on our feelings right now. We really need to express them. Now, for some of us, it's going to feel like a little bit of a crisis. It can be just a crisis of consciousness or sudden awareness of lack. And when I say lack, right, of course, it could be money, right? Lack could be emotional support. It could be love. It could be connection with your friends, connection with your kids, where you all of a sudden it's becoming front and center to you that you have this sense of lack. And that Cancer energy does not like that, right? Because it's all about home. So we really need to understand the polarity of the houses, that this is hitting the greatest. But guys, I do want you to apply this to whatever area you're intuitively feeling it. Because when I give the polarities, when we pull the cards, that's always based on your rising sign. And that's how it is for anybody that you listen to on YouTube. It always goes according to your rising sign, because that drives the placement of the houses, right? So understand that. Because then you also have your sun placement. You also have your Venus and your moon. So it's really, that's why I'm careful to not harp on those house placements too much. You want to understand, trust in yourself. You know where the change is happening. You know, and some of you feel it in your relationship, in your job. I mean, I know. A lot of times these dynamics are very just so closely connected to a number of intimate areas. We're going to talk about that. Now, for many, relationships might be challenged, broken, or strengthened during this energy, which is really good. Very dramatically at this time. Like, guys, if you're in a relationship and you guys make it through this time, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are solid. You guys are solid. And a lot of you are going to be doing this reconnecting as this kickoff of the retrograde season starts to wind down, right? That the ending of it all is starting to kick off, right? And so there's this winding down, there's this revisiting. A lot of you guys are going to be doing revisiting to something from the past, somebody from the past, particularly, I know Virgo, especially risings, are going to be, if you haven't already been dealing with a returned energy, you are going to be dealing with the returned energy. Other signs will be too, but I'm thinking right here of Virgo, straight out of the gate. But your discoveries, whatever it is going to be very emotionally charged, very dramatic. Lots of epiphanies are going to be hitting you. You're going to be acutely aware of what's working and not working in your life. You really are. It's just going to be very front and center. And this is a very motivating time for you to incite change and for you to get rid of, seriously, like what is not working for you. Because full moons are always really good at magnifying something that's not working, right? Some sort of pre-existing issue that we're dealing with in our life, just so that we could bring it back into balance or bring ourselves back into balance. Our larger work should be reaching a good balance between focus on personal and private lives, and or like professional and public duty and responsibility and goals. You know, like there's got to be this balancing out. We're all going to be feeling this need to balance out particular areas of our life. And this is all happening very close to the Jupiter and Pluto retrograde conjunction that I talked about last time. And this is making revelations pretty dramatic for a lot of us right now. So it's in harmony with Uranus, which is going to just help us to let go and release, right? Because Uranus is all about the future. Uranus is the future. So this is really good. And remember, this is going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to roll out. It's going to be a little different energetically for everybody, but just know that this is for a long while, guys. We're not going to be dealing with this version of this energy for at least another 18 years. So don't worry about it. So it's going to be kind of like a clean slate moving forward. Are there going to be other energies that come up? Of course. This is life, right? But not this way. This has been a tough transit for many of us. Even those with like weaker Cancer Capricorn energies in our charts. It's been pretty profound couple of years for all of us. I think we could all agree. So I'm going to turn my chair around. My cards are back there, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye. Hi Pisces, I hope you guys are doing great today. So let's get right into your first week of July read. I'm going to be starting by pulling some Lenormand, and we're going to pull general messages, you know, whatever comes out, you know how I roll. Those of you who've been watching me, I'm going to do for relationship and career, whatever comes up. But let's pull the Lenormand. A lot of you guys seem to really enjoy the Lenormand beginning, the Lenormand qualifiers. So let's see what we end up getting. Remember, this is a different system to tarot. It's totally different. Oh, Pisces, looking behind you to move forward. Looking behind you to move forward. Now, just to talk about the eclipse that's going on. Now, the moon is going to be in your 11th house, and the sun is going to be in your 5th house. So just so that you guys understand what's going on with this, your 11th house is about friendships, associations that you choose to be affiliated with, big companies, big corporations. It has to do with your life goals, what you actually really want for your life. For many of you, it has to do with business, particularly those of you who are involved in sort of any kind of entrepreneurial activity. So let's associate it with it like that first. Because we have that 11th, 5th house dynamic. So the 5th house is the house of fun. It has to do with hobbies, things you really love to do, your children, your love affairs, your boyfriend, girlfriend connections, what you do with your partner on a Monday through Sunday basis. It's the natural landlord of the 5th house is Leo, which is ruled by the sun. So and to have that dynamic with the 11th house, for those of you who are going to resonate with this reading for your career, it really is about this release needing to happen in that 11th house with the help of the 5th house energy. So for many of you, this can be changing the direction that you were going to in your life, having to do with your career, and now getting into something that you 5th house really love. Okay. It could have to do with that, having to do with career. If it has to do with relationship, it's realizing that where you thought your life was going to be going, you're going to need to release some sort of idea that you had set in your mind about where it was that you were going exactly, because of something having to do with some sort of love affair, some sort of connection that you were involved in. For many of you, it'll be a relationship. For some of you, it's making some adjustments in your future goals because of something going on with your children. It doesn't have to be bad. It could be entirely great. It's just, that's just simply the dynamic of what's going to be. So there's going to be this releasing, this letting go, Pisces, of something in that 11th house, right? And really asking that 5th house energy for help. I really like the Lenormand. Let's pull your Celtic cross spread first, and then we'll go right into that, and then we'll pull these. We'll throw in some Astro dice, pull an Astro card, and see what's happening. But this really, the Lenormand are telling me, just because we have starting here the man, and the man is looking to the left of the card, so this tells me that the past is playing a role in how it is something that you are moving into right now, Pisces. So this could be, in this, listen, the energies don't understand the calendar. Time is man-made. So some of you may be in this space already. Some of you may be entering this space. I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh, we got the World, we get the Queen of Cups as the outcome. Okay, let me not get ahead of myself. So we have the man here, okay? And now, if you notice, he's holding the rose. I'm sorry about that weird light that's reflecting there. You see he's got the rose and he's looking to the side. But if you notice the placement, all right, those of you who watched my last video where I used the Lenormand, understand, we don't read these in isolation only. We read them in isolation and then how they speak to each other, okay? So this is a man looking behind him, understanding that there's something beautiful behind him that needs to come back. So for some of you, this could be the reconciliation of a past relationship. For others of you, it's the revisiting of a project or an idea or something that you love to do once upon a time that you really do need to bring back. And then we have the compass. And guys, this is all about what is your true north. When it comes to that relationship, when it comes to that career, what is it that you're really meant to do? And that is the compass energy, is you looking behind you, realizing that there was something that you so strongly resonated with, even if you thought you didn't really resonate with it in the moment, or maybe it ended up taking a turn that you weren't anticipating in the past. But this understanding that whatever was, but that there was something so fundamentally I'm not even going to say, I'm going to say truthful about it for your soul, that, and then we have the Anchor, guys. This is one of the most benefic cards when it comes to Lenormand. Okay, I'm sorry about, I don't even know where the heck that reflection is coming from, but in the deck it comes before the Death card. So this is really about faith, and at the same time it's about strong foundation. So it's a really great energy. So putting these together, how are they talking to me as a reader? Pisces, this guy is either you, or this has to do with a significant other, or this can even be like a personification of a position that you had at one point, right? But it's this idea of looking in the past as that being what you're really supposed to be with right now in order to feel fully grounded. So guys, if you're hearing this and you're like, hell no, I don't want that relationship to come back, then you have to apply it to career, apply it to a friendship, apply it to a family connection. When was the last time you spoke to that family member that maybe you haven't spoken to? You follow? So again, that's the way we need to work the general energies, guys, because there are many of you, and this is a general reading on YouTube, but I can give you the energies. You're going to have to apply them how you see fit. Now, regardless of where you're at, we do get a Chariot reverse. This makes so much sense. Holy cow. I mean, seriously, the Chariot reverse, guys, is all about not being on the right path. You doing your thing, you being you, but you feeling this like left shoe on the right foot, right shoe on the left foot kind of vibe, where you just knew something was just not right. Now, was it the past echoing you back? Was it that relationship to revisit? Is it that job to revisit? Is it that thing that you loved to do once upon a time that you put down so long ago? That project that you left half finished? What's calling you? What's been beckoning you? Because I do feel the Chariot reverse is always not going towards your metaphorical home space, because the chariot the chariot is connected in astrology. It's connected to Cancer, and Cancer is the fourth house energy of home, of roots, of where we feel grounded. It's lunar, it's moon, it's mother, right? It's what's going to make us feel really good, that cozy kind of good. Oh, my nose is itching. So, oh my gosh, this is I'm getting so much energy from this read, my friends. I really am. Current situation right now, we have the Fool reverse and we have the King of Pentacles crossing. So the Fool reverse, the Fool is about Uranus. Uranus is all about the future. It's the trailblazer, right? Uranus rules Aquarius, so think Aquarius. So it's whatever you're doing now, do it differently. Okay, that's really what the message here is. And in the reverse, this tells me that there is either a fear of moving into the future, where you're choosing not to get on that path that you have never gone down before, or that path that you haven't been down in a long time, where it's going to require you taking a calculated risk. Whatever it is, it's going to require you taking a calculated risk. Now, because this is a general message, I'm going to give a couple of interpretations. Either you're just not willing to do it right now. You don't have the gumption and the willingness just yet. Okay, that's okay. You will. Once Mars starts tickling your belly, which Mars will be tickling your belly, especially in July through January 6th. But for some of you, this could just be the opportunity isn't there yet. Maybe because of the COVID thing, maybe because you guys can't really see each other, maybe you guys don't live near each other, maybe you want to get back into that job or that thing, but you can't really act on it fully yet because of, whatever, COVID, depending on what phase we're at and all of that stuff. I think, I don't need to labor on about that, but just because of the phases and the shutdowns and the this and the that the gumption is there, but you just may not have the opportunity. And the thing is, what I really like about this, my friends, is that the King of Pentacles is crossing it. So I really like this, whether it's for relationship or whether it's for career. I don't care. This is good. This is good. We love Pentacle energy, not only because it represents resources, but because it's about mental, physical, and emotional connection. It is my favorite suite, even over the Cup energy, believe it or not, just because this is so practical and all-encompassing. When we're talking Pentacle energy and relationship, we're talking, how do you guys communicate? Like, connect in your communication. It's connection. What is your intimacy life like? What does your social life look like? How do you guys connect on a Monday through Sunday basis? Do you have each other's back? Are you really supportive? Well, the King of Pentacles indicates, yes, if this is a person who you're getting back with, Pisces, or even if you're with them right now, what this does indicate to me is a beautiful time of connection. I really like this. Aries is ruled by who? By Mars. And Mars is going to be the star for the next 6 months. It's just the way it is, from July all the way to January. I'm going to do a separate video on that, I do believe, coming up next week. But and then Taurus is all about Pentacle energy. Yeah, money, great, but it's also ruled by Venus, which is anything Venusian, is anything that appeals to the five senses. It has to do with our sense of self-worth. It has to do with love. And it also has to do with one of the money placements. So really what this tells me is that for whatever reason, you're not able to hop on that path just yet. But when you do, it's really going to be very benefic. So I feel for some of you, if it has to do with career, you're not able to do it. I do feel a sense of trepidation in the energy right now, particularly if it has to do with revisiting either a relationship or revisiting like a project that's like your baby kind of thing. Some of you may be feeling very or scared to call that family member. I'm also getting very strong. But look what we have crowning, guys. We have the World, and this is great because it's a Saturn energy. And this is where I say, this is one of those times where Saturn is just such a beautiful energy, even though it's hard as hell when we're going through it. But the World is the gift on the other side, which tells me that whatever it is that you're working on right now, I'm getting that. Even though the Fool does represent something brand new, I'm feeling that there's a history to this. So there's a history to this relationship, whatever it is, whether it's an intimate relationship, a family connection, a friendship, a business connection. Maybe it's an old project that you were dealing with, but in order for you to get the World, there has to be a history because it's a Saturn energy, and Saturn is old. Saturn is it's not Chronos, but it's time. Like, it's time in something. It's structure. It's karma. It's, you know, you really needed to have gone through something in order to get this gift as the crowning energy, right? But now as the foundation, we have the Page of Swords. So wherever we have swords, it's, you know, swords is indicative of communication. Okay, and page does indicate a new cycle. But now whenever we get it reversed, anything that could get in the way of good communication. So this could be, so for example, if this has to do with a relationship, you have not spoken to this person in a while. If it's the intimate relationship, it's the family connection. If it's the friendship that you're feeling called back to. If this has to do with, or if you are in communication, it's not healthy. Whether you feel like there's a line through omission, there could be some possible manipulation involved, anything like that. If this has to do with a business situation, you're not hearing back from somebody. You're putting the feelers out there, but you're just not hearing back. You're not hearing the information that you need to hear in order to move on to that next cycle. Because remember, page is, it's core card. It's the youngest one, which is indicative of a new cycle. So this makes sense to me to have this with the full reverse, because it's like this new cycle is just simply not available to you because you're not getting the thumbs up that you can push forward on something, or you're feeling very trepidatious about pushing forward on something because you don't feel like you're going to be able to actually get it out there. Whatever it is, guys. But there is this issue with communication going on. Now, you and only you right now having to do with this situation, whatever it is, whatever's on your heart. We have the Four of Cups reversed. Careful this energy, Pisces. Be careful, okay? This is a very profound energy, even though it's a minor arcana. Because with the Four of Cups indicates, I always call it the checklist card, and it's the identification of something either that you're just not happy about regarding a situation. The reverse only indicates a stronger emotional resonance with that. So this could be you're very bored, you're very restless. Some of you may be feeling incredibly restless right now. For others of you, if this had to do with some sort of relationship, intimate, family, friend, whatever it is, it's you sitting there with your checklist going, well, when they did that, I couldn't stand that. And if we reconnect, I can't do that, that, and that. I can't have them doing that, that, and that kind of thing. Totally understandable. But the thing is this, you need to climb under that feeling a little bit, and you need to figure out what it is in you that pushes. What is the real problem? Are they not reaching out to you enough when you're connected with them? Then that makes you feel undervalued. And that's what you need to look at. And where does that come from? And are you okay with that moving forward? Like, do you know what I mean? Because like people are who they are. So this is you very much, but you want to make sure that you're not looking back at a relationship, at a job, at a situation where you're placing all the blame on the other, and you really want to look at your own stuff to recognize maybe what involved in that interaction, poked at maybe some unhealed scars and wounds that you carried from your childhood, from sort of previous job, previous relationship, previous situation in your life that you maybe didn't realize wasn't healed yet. And you maybe weren't as ready for that relationship. Maybe you weren't as ready to get that close to that friend or to do that job in that way that was required just yet. Even though you thought you were in the moment, maybe you weren't. And this is about you really understanding and thinking that. Now, what's really cool to me is that the external energy to you, now this is not you, this is an external energy to you, is Nine of Pentacles. So what this tells me is whoever you're reaching out to, whatever idea you're returning to, it's going to bring you such a beautiful peace of mind, because the Nine of Pentacles, this is Venus in Virgo. So Virgo's a very pragmatic energy, guys. Very pragmatic, very front and center, very based in reality, right? It is. It's ruled by Mercury, right? It is ruled by Mercury. So there's, this idea of communication is here. It's a pentacle energy. It's an earth energy. And when we have Venus, it's about getting front and center and real. It's cutting through all the BS and saying, look at me for who I am. Look at the situation for for what it is. You follow? So this is an external energy. So if this has to do with a job, this is like, all right, strip through all the insecurities and all of the angry nonsense that you're thinking back to that was connected with that project, with that job, with that business partner, whatever it is, and really cutting through all the nonsense and getting down to the nuts and bolts and just realizing, you know what? maybe it was just a lot of misunderstandings, right? But it's this external energy that's actually calling you. That what I like about the Nine of Pentacles, and not to cut myself off, but there is kind of like a kind of feeling like you'll have the money that you haven't had. You'll have the comfort and connection that you thought was impossible, but you'll have it in that relationship now. Things will be different because there's going to be a lot of communication involved, because that's what this is. Virgo is about communication as well. Not only Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Okay? So there's going to be, and what I like about this is the communication is going to lead to connection. So whatever you're feeling here, you're going to have the ability to communicate. And Pisces, I feel like they're going to be the ones inciting the communication. Or they're going to be the ones through which your epiphanies are going to be happening, where it's like you start questioning, you know what? Maybe I was really hard on them, or maybe I was too hard on myself, or you know what I mean? Something like that. But there is this piece that's going to be happening here, having to do with this connection. Your fear is the Empress. I get it. This is a Venus energy. You know, she's the mother of the tarot. It's all about growth, right? She's perpetually pregnant. So this could be literally a mother figure. This could literally be some of you may be fearing having children. Some of you may be fearing reconnecting with your children, and that's on a very literal level. But the Empress is a Venus energy, which is that beautiful trifecta about self-confidence and feeling really good about, you know, who you are, really valuing who you are. The Empress is also a money energy, right? Because Venus is one of the money planets, about abundance. It also has to do with love, right? But it's about the ability to grow in these areas and be able to connect and grow. And that's in your fear position, Pisces. So you're afraid, I think, of perhaps the past revisiting you in an unhealthy way. And I'm only saying that because I do see you looking back at the past here, right? So the outcome energy is going to be the Two of Cups reverse. Okay, listen. Two of Cups reverse is Venus and Cancer in reverse. Something's going to be making you feel very scared, right? Feeling like, I don't know if I could do this. Feeling like, I don't think this is going to bring me the money that I'm looking for. I don't know. This isn't going to make me feel as grounded and rooted and as connected as I really want. You want to be careful of any self-sabotaging behavior here, Pisces. You want to make sure. Because what I see is the future of whatever this is the Queen of Cups, which is beautiful. Queen of Cups is a Gemini and Cancer energy. And what is Gemini and Cancer? Gemini is communication. Cancer is that metaphorical fourth house of feeling rooted and connected. So it's through communication of emotions and through communication of feelings about a topic that the safety is going to end up rearing its head in a beautiful way. And this is what you really want, right? So I do see you know, in this energy, this time period that I'm talking about, when the eclipse actually happens, you going through all of this, but you feeling very, very trepidatious about it. Now, guys, I do want to say, I tell you the astrology, but I'm also telling you tarot. And the big difference between tarot and astrology, tarot, the energy, does not understand time. It doesn't understand the scientific organization that we've applied to anything, like we've done with astrology, which is why I can tell you on July 5th or 4th or 5th, depending on where in the world you live, we're going to be experiencing the solar eclipse, right? Okay, that's fine. But you know that the eclipse is happening then. But when it comes to the tarot messages, and the reason I'm mentioning this to you is because some of you may be in a space where you're revisiting right now something from the past, where you're just sort of opening up that next chapter with this person, with this job, with this whatever it is, fill in the blank, relationship, whatever it is. And you may feel a heightened sense of trepidation and cold feet and fear at the end of this first week in July. Right? But I am going to be doing weeklies throughout July. So let's see what the next week brings, because in the near future, we have that Queen of Cups energy, which is absolutely beautiful. I love it. So let's throw some astro dice and pull an astro card to get additional advice. We have Jupiter, we have second house, we have Sagittarius, which is belief system. Okay, good. Okay, so Sagittarius is about, you have to notice where you've built up walls and borders in your life and really get that creativity together and your courage, right, to pull them down. Pisces, what stories have you been telling yourself about this relationship, about this person, about this job, this project, that you can't do it, I'm not going to be able to do it, or they're never going to be the way I need them to be, or whatever it is. You have to get in touch with that false narrative that you've been telling yourself, that, that ends up inciting you putting up all these walls. And you need to figure out a way of putting them down. And really, this is a time to have optimism and optimism and faith, right? Optimism and faith. And then we have Jupiter, which is telling me that it's time for you to expand your mind here, and what's really begging you to take a chance. I mean, for goodness sake, right? Can we have any more synchronicities than this? Of course. And then we have the second house. The second house is as you were born to do something, to be in a relationship, to do a career, to work on a project, to do something that you're not currently exploiting right now. And you have to really think about, I just feel like, how can I say this? When you feel really in the flow of something where you're like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. Like if you're with that friend and you're out, you guys are shopping or having a cocktail, whatever it is, and you're just like, wow, you know what? This is like amazing. I feel like I met another human who just totally gets me. You know what I mean? That's like where you're in the flow. Or that relationship where you just can't possibly feel more in love than you were at that moment. Or when you're in that job and you just feel like you're on. Everything you're doing is just syncing up. Boom, boom, boom. You're loving what you do. You're making the money that you want to make. Just being in the flow. It's all about getting in touch with what it is that you're not exploiting. What person is already in your life energetically that you need to return to? What job do you need to return to? What project do you need to return to? Because that's where your flow is. Guys, even though we're moving into the future, and we are moving into the future, and you have a lot of beautiful future energies here, there is something about the past. There's something about the past that needs to be returned to. Uranus, yes, we have to return to the past in order to seek out the future. Uranus is all about the future. So there's something, and guys, again, this doesn't mean you have to return to an unhealthy relationship. For goodness sake, we're energetic beings. You know what I mean? You could sit that one out, right? But this doesn't have to be that. This could, again, be that friendship, family connection, that job, whatever it is. You're going to know what it is. You're going to know what it is. But the answer to your future lies somewhere in your past, and only you are going to know what that means. So that is what I have for you, my Pisces friends. A very clear, beautiful reading is what I see for you here. I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.